Okay, this is the Black Prince. Very strong tank at its tier. Finally, finished the grind. I did it 4 days ago and I already had all the footage that I needed, but just haven't done anything with it. So we're going to start with two mastery games in the Black Prince where you don't even need to play well to succeed. And then we'll go to how to penetrate the tank effectively, even just with standard shells. And if you are playing the tank, how to angle it properly so you can bounce tier 7s and 8s, even things with a lot of penetration. Because the tank is designed very, very well so you can bounce shells off the very strong side armor. Okay, so we're going right up to the mid here with our very slow top speed. And we're top tier this game, so I'm not very concerned about getting pinned by anything. KV2's freaking out. Because, oh boy, he was spotted because his camo's bad. I don't care about being spotted, I can just sit here with my 200... I believe it's like 200 on the front turret face at tier 7, which is very nice. So we're shooting his track off once, shooting his track off twice, and now we're just going to farm the Tog. We can angle up our turret to those tier 6s sniping in the corner. It doesn't even matter, honestly. The Annihilator tried to pan our turret, which he could not do at that angle. So we're just farming up the damage, blocking everything. There's no skill here, it's just shooting. That's it, anyone can do this. I mean, not much to say, because it's very, very simple gameplay. You just sit, shoot, bounce things. It's quite entertaining. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit now, it would appear. As the T-3485 has moved over to the right side. Good for him, making something dynamic happen. So we're just going to naturally push onto this tier 6 that can't even pan our lower plate. So a lot of people underestimate the mobility of the Black Prince. The top speed is very slow, but the traverse speed is incredible. So even with premium, he's barely able to even scratch me from the front. And our DPM is insane at 3,000 damage, even though your health is only 600. Your pen's good, your reload's great. Your ABCR pen is wonderful. So yeah, we just kind of drive forward, keep your front toward the enemy, while angling, of course. And that was the end of that game. Very simple game. It was incredibly easy. So 3.9k damage, just spotting badge. Steel wall, carried the team, but we didn't use a whole lot of skill or map knowledge doing that. It was very, very simple gameplay. That's why this is probably the most noob-friendly tank at tier 7, as far as I'm concerned. That's for tech trees too. If you want a more noob-friendly tank, go play an Annihilator or Smasher, which please don't, because don't. It's horrible for the game, but people do whatever they want if they want to win. I wasn't yet at max crew. This replay has at 91% crew, I think. Somewhere in the 90s. This is my first day using the tank, by the way, for both replays. The gun is accurate. That shot was nuts. So just pushing up, like I said, trying to back up, but this SU is sitting right behind me, waiting for the LTTB to get out of the way. Angling up to the Black Prince. The Black Prince is distracted now, so I don't have to worry about him. Angling sideways, so he doesn't really have my lower plate to shoot at, which he can pen, and when I'm this close, he can't get his gun low enough to hit it. Your lower plate's only like 140 thick. And this is not a place you want to be, right? Stuck side onto a Black Prince. Ooh, it's a lot of DPM. You might as well have an E25 with armor next to you. Because it is what it is, and we're already up to almost 2,000 damage, and all we did was drive forward and press the button. Yeah, this gun is absolutely amazing. It honestly feels more accurate than the 25 gun, and that gun's really accurate. As you major packet loss right there, unfortunately. And yeah, like I said, there's not a lot of skill required to do great games in this tank. You just kind of drive around, shoot stuff. It's quite relaxing to not have to put a lot of thought process into your gameplay. That seems like this is what this line is up to this point, but once I get to the Carnarvon, I know for sure the difficulty is going to pick up. As you can see, your armor's not infallible, and he just loaded premium and was able to pen through my lower plate with ease. And he could probably pen my lower plate with standard. Actually looked like he penned the mid plate, the toughest plate of them all, with his premium shell, which is interesting. So we're up to 4,000 damage now. I haven't had to do a whole lot, just shooting this guy as he goes away, and I don't get any more damage. There you go. Not really a damage blocking game that time, just a lot of driving and shooting with crazy DPM. So another ace game of 4,000 plus damage. And that's about it for replays, so we'll go on to the armor profile portion of the video. This is the Black Prince head-on against a tier 6 light tank. Wow, that lower plate kind of sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, and the hatch is HEable. So how do you make this tank's armor profile work properly? Let's see. You angle it like this. Now, wow, premium shells pen you like butter. So, seems like this tank doesn't have reliable armor. Well, it does if you side scrape, and the turret face is impenetrable for basically everything at tier 7 and tier 6. So you can always rely on that, and that's what you're going for. DPM and troll armor that isn't necessarily reliable but can bounce shells occasionally. How you're going to want to angle the Black Prince all the time is about at 20 degrees here, not showing the front. You always want to be side scraping or hold down in this tank because you do have 8 degrees, which is nice for a Churchill style tank. So always use that, go hold down. So even if we go to tier 8 tanks like CDC or FCM50T has great pen on standard, as you can see. APCR, even like the turret, you still have these troll bits here on the manlet that sometimes people will hit. And they're going to be hitting you for what, 190, and you can tap them twice for well more than that, so that's not too much of a problem. But better than hold down is whenever you side scrape, because nothing's penning you when you're side scraping. You can grab something like a Foch, for example. As you can see, the side is still impenetrable up until past 20 degrees. So at 20 degrees, everything's auto bounce for this. As soon as they switch to heat though, oh boy, you're screwed. You gotta angle sharper like this, but nothing's going to have that much heat pen at the tiers that you're fighting, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just go hold down side scrape, you'll be fine. Now if you're trying to pen a Black Prince and for some reason you're struggling tremendously, just load the premium. There's no shame in loading premium to pen at target. I know there's a negative aspect to it for a lot of people. Don't be a gold spammer. Yeah, sometimes it's just better to shoot a whole bunch of premium because you will pen your shots that way. That's it, sometimes you gotta lose credits when you play games. Or if you are doing really well, you won't lose credits regardless of how much premium you're shooting. But for the most part, most tanks can pen the front of a Churchill quite well, so unless you're facing a Churchill player that's side scraping and hold down all the time, you're not gonna have a lot of problems with having to switch to premium. But in a pinch, you can totally just switch to premium and pen like the turret face or the side armor if they're over angled. Or even if they are side scraping and you can't see the front, but you can see the drive wheel, just shoot through the drive wheel because you can pen that even with APs for most tanks at the tier. Cheeto is probably not a great example because it has great pen. So what if you're in a light tank like the DK2801 and you're running the 10.5 centimeter as a cultured person would? Wow, that is a very red, scary tank. First of all, you think, okay, you could get up close and use your AP shells to hit the engine deck and right above whatever this is, whatever you'd call it. Or if you're stuck at the front and those shots are too hard, you can go for the hatch with a heat shell. Or if you're able to flank around the sides and everything's pennable, there's even a little spot right about here on the actual model in game that you can pen with heat. Or sorry, with I think you might be able to pen it with AP like the Churchill, but I'm not totally sure, so don't quote me there. And if you get to the rear, you can use AP or even HGs all day. And even with your APs, something that annoys Churchills all the time is the rear drive wheels are actually weaker than the front drive wheels. So if you do have the rear, you can shoot at the drive wheel here and damage and track the tank at the same time, which is very irritating because then they'll likely need to use a repair kit. So if you're dealing with a Churchill, don't be afraid to load the premium shells. There's no shame in that. If it's angling well, load Primo, pen it, and be on your way. There's nothing wrong with having to do that. So anyway, I hope you learned something about the Churchill in this, and I'll see you guys all probably real soon.